This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
We as a team, obviously, we thought today was a huge game. The way it went down on Friday and yesterday, we sold out with some pitchers, and we just we thought we were going to have to piece it together today, and told the guys somebody's going to have to step up. Three guys are going to have to step up, and it started out pretty good. Ben Bobby looks really good for two hitters. You're thinking, wow, okay. And then it didn't go so good, and they scored two. Cody comes in, and man, he gets us out of that jam where, we don't give up anymore. And then we did a great job answering there in the first. And, it all started with Tavian's at bat. It was an incredible at bat. A couple of balls were close both ways, and then finally gets a base hit. And, we blooped one in, and obviously it looked like we were going to have a really big inning. Unfortunately, we hit into a double play, and then they threw us through one of the backstop for us, and we got to tie it up. We gave it back to them and ball to the backstop with 2 outs later in the game. And then we came back and took the lead, but as far as just the overall effort, it's amazing. Dugout was wound up, and it was intense. And, Cody Adcock, great job. Dylan Carter was the man, though. I mean, Dylan came in, did a tremendous job going through that tough order, left, right. I mean, super job. And, this is a guy that pitched 2 days ago and threw about 27 pitches, I think. And, he throws another 60 something. We felt like it was time to get him out. Coach and I were talking, and, Gage knew he was going to pitch today, and he's got good stuff. Threw one hitter the other day, I think it was. And he was upset when we took him out. And we told him, you're going to pitch again on Sunday. You have to. And, man, he came through for us and got us four really, really big outs.
With Dylan, is that something where you talked to him ahead of it before the game to say, hey, how much do you got in you? And was that about as much as you could have possibly asked for?
Couldn't ask for any more. I was worried about, that last inning, and looked like he was going to get through it pretty good. And then, stumbled a little bit, but, you throw the ball down the middle, they're going to hit it. They're going to hit it hard. And, they hit a couple balls hard into the wind that would have gone out of the park, as we did. And, throughout the game, it's just kind of the way it works. But yeah, I know Coach talked to Dylan earlier, about, you good to go? How much, just let me know what you got and be honest. And, that's what you do when you get into these situations. The guys just got to communicate with us. And we don't want to hurt anybody. We're just trying to win like they are, but, we can't afford that.
And with Gage, how much could an outing like that help a young guy, confidence-wise, moving forward?
Well, I know he's going to come up here in a little bit, and you can probably ask him the same thing, but I would think it would really help you. I think all the outings leading up to today help get ready for today. And I mentioned that after the game to the team. You're going to have your ups and downs preseason, maybe throw him out there here and there. And I remember first time he got the ball, when I went out and got the ball from him, he looked super nervous. But I knew he would be. I think that was in front of a ton of people down there in Arlington. So, but we threw him out there to get him ready for something like this, because these are the games that really matter. And he's been throwing the ball good, throwing a lot of strikes, throwing a downward breaking ball, but he got a little slider cutter going now, and that's what he got the fly ball, I think, in the 8th with that ended that inning, and that's a good hitter. So, yeah, I would think that would really propel you into your next outing.
Got some timely hits today. Just what do you think of the way your offense was able to come through when they really needed to?
Just enough, I mean, you look on the lineup card, we got 9 hits, they got 7. But there were 3 or 4 balls that we blooped in. There were 3 or 4 balls that we lined out, but we did get a couple of big hits, move some guys around. And, I would like to have that 0-2 count with Tavian up with that second run. Could have given us a 2-run lead, because he's awful tough to strike out, been really clutch. And, that it just seemed like sometimes the 20 seconds goes quick, gets down to 10. Sometimes it's not so much. I mean, it's all about when they push the button or somebody's pushing the button, I guess. And, we really weren't given any signs there, because there was 0-2 count, nothing to give. And, they said when he squared back up to look at the pitcher, it was at 9 seconds. It needed to be at 10. And, that hurt. But just really glad that we're not second guessing ourselves and saying, what if? I mean, thank goodness for our pitching staff. The last couple of days, they did an incredible job, and they kind of took old saying. They just kind of took the bull by the horns, man, and we loved it.
Also, you made some changes to the lineup, moving some guys around today and had Cole play shortstop. Just overall, how'd you like the look of the lineup, just seeing those guys in that order?
Well, I did that because they're throwing a really good lefty at us. So I just was trying to mix it. Obviously, there are a couple switch hitters in the lineup, but if the lefty's in there, it was going to be right, left all the way through until 9. Then it's going to be right. And then number 1 goes back to right. Righties were hitting about, I don't know, 230 against him, and lefties were hitting about 170 or something. Not a huge difference, face more righties, but I don't know. That's why I did it. I like the look of it, though, against the lefty.
The bottom of the order in particular, it had been a tough weekend for hitters 7 through 9, but then Roland comes through there in the 6th, I think, for you. For him to get that knock to eventually win the game, how important was that?
Oh, that was huge. He didn't waste any time. I should have told him to hit a little bit farther away from the shortstop so my runner didn't have to go back. But no, he did a great job, and Brady actually did a really good job of base running there, because if he breaks and he catches it, that's big momentum swing. With Tavian coming up, we could still have a couple guys on. But fortunate for us, it got through. That was a big swing. There were a lot of big swings, but that was the one that put us over the top and gave us the lead and really threw the pressure back on them.
After coming from behind to win 2 straight games in the series, I imagine the moods in the clubhouse got to be way better than it was Friday night.
Yeah, and that's I think they did a good job yesterday of coming out with I thought they had some serious attitude yesterday, and I loved it. And they were quiet and intense, and we elevated our game yesterday. And today they came out maybe a little bit looser, but you could tell the focus was there, and they were going to fight. And they knew what we were up against, a really good lefty that, projected to be a high pick in the draft eligible this year. He's got a good arm, good mechanics, throw strikes for the most part. And they knew that when we got an opportunity, we need to score, and got his pitch count up pretty quick. And that allowed us to get to the bullpen.
Yeah, Dave, speaking of bullpen, your bullpen, obviously you don't have Tiger, Smith probably done after 50-some pitches yesterday. The way these 3 guys, maybe not how you would have envisioned shutting down an offense like Alabama. Just what'd you think of the job the bullpen did?
Well, bullpen was great. I mean, we would have got swept if it wasn't for the bullpen. And, I love good starting pitching, but the bullpen, that's going to determine if you have a good team or not, because the games are won 7 through 9. 7th, 8th, and 9th innings that's when games are. If you can't stop people, you got a little lead there, and you can't stop people when you get your starter out, it's demoralizing. And, what Smith did yesterday, and then what, Carter and Adcock and Wood did today. You couldn't have drawn it up any better looking back on it. And, those guys, they obviously, none of the guys I just mentioned will throw it all until next weekend, but it's a short week for us because we play Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week coming up. So you won't see them on the mound Tuesday, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys, a couple of things about Arkansas State, or anybody else have any game things? Oh, Swarsko. Okay, I didn't know. Okay.
Come on, it's a free meal, man. Come on.
Scratch that then.
Oh, not anymore, because it's a little. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I was not trying to jab you guys at all. That was a bad. Sorry.
Hey, Coach, what can you say about the positioning that Callie had today? Because I think there were 2 lineouts right at him, and then another 2 or 3 ground balls where it looked like he was in great position to make a play.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Just looking at the spray chart just from the first 2 games, and then we have obviously the rest of their season, and as they have ours, and they're playing a pretty good shift, and they gambled a little bit. It cost them a couple of times, but it also saved them there in the bottom of the 8th too. That was a great play. But they really hit to the same spots, and we just moved them around, and Callie kind of knew where he was going, and I'd move him a foot here, there, a step here, there, and it paid off, and he did a nice job. He probably had 5 or 6 plays today, made him look easy. Good job.
Wagner had a couple of quiet games at the plate, but then came through for you today. Just what did you see from him today at the plate?
Well, I think that he was getting frustrated. He was getting behind the count with off-speed pitches, and then they'd bust a fastball just above the strike zone. He'd foul it off, swing and miss, kept it together. And then they tried to do that with him in that at bat. He didn't bite and came back with, I think, a changeup or a slider. I don't know what it was. It looked like a changeup. It might have been a slider that just backed up, but he crushed it. And I'm just glad the wind started to push it at the end. It was definitely fair, but it stayed true because I had a great view of it. And, at the time we're down a run, and then we were up a run. That was a big swing.
And you've been rotating your catchers, but you started rolling all 3 games this weekend. How do you think he held up over the weekend?
I thought he did good. When you play a night game to a day game, that's always a concern. Day to day, not so much. We're done at 5, got a chance to eat and relax and regroup and get your legs back underneath you a little bit. A lot of times, if you get done at 10 at night and you got to be back at the field, the next day at 8 and again at 10 and playing, it can get a little tough. But I thought he did a great job. I mean, his catching and blocking was elite this weekend, in my opinion. Picked a guy off first. They threw a runner out. Maybe shut their running down a little bit. They don't run a lot like us, but they just pick and choose their time. So I think I'd grade him an A if I was grading him. I need him to do better in school, but I'm just kidding. He's sitting over there. But yeah, great job.
Well, this wasn't the first time you've seen Thomas since he left here, but he had a big weekend for Alabama, first time being back here in Fayetteville. What did you think about the way he played?
I thought he swung the bat extremely well. He caught well yesterday too. And even though we stole, I don't steal any bases. Tavian stole a base on him when, I would say if you're a base stealer, you can steal a base when everybody in the park knows you're probably going to steal. There's 2 outs there. And I think Dom made a perfect throw, but Tavian beat it, got a good jump on the pitcher. And, I think it seemed like he got 2 hits a game and hit a couple other balls hard. I mean, he's always been a good hitter, and his catching's gotten a lot better. Arms good. Played really well. He's a really good kid, young man. I mean, he's it was really for his good at the time to go because of our situation, to go play. And he went to McLennan Community College, where at the time Nate's brother was the head coach, and all they did was win the national championship. So he had a really good experience.
But your pitching staff and the way they pitched with runners on base this weekend, because Alabama stranded a lot in 3 games.
I mean, again, it was great. Pounded the zone, got some fly balls, and they hit a couple double play balls today, but the guy that hit him too fast. I mean, he could just really run. I thought we did an outstanding job. The number of runs that were scored today and yesterday, when you look at Alabama's numbers overall, like I said, I don't think I could have expected us to do much better.
BetOnline remains your #1 source for all your college basketball betting this season. Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. You'll find the latest odds, bracket contests, team matchups, and game trends at BetOnline. Updated odds for everything from live games right through the Final Four and the championship game. BetOnline is where your college basketball headquarters are this season. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts.